Look, let's be real for a second. You just got a small raise at work, maybe 3% or 4%. Or maybe you finally decided to open that brokerage account you've been putting off. You see a little notification on your phone. Account fee, 1% annually. And you think, it's just 1%. That's basically a rounding error. It's the price of a fancy coffee once a month. Who cares? That's literally everyone. I've been there. You feel like you're finally winning the game because the big numbers are moving up. But here's the thing. While you're focused on the 99% you keep, that 1% is quietly dismantling your entire financial future in the background. It's like having a tiny microscopic leak in a massive water tank. You don't notice it today, you don't notice it next month, but 30 years from now, you wake up and realize half the tank is empty. Today, we're talking about the lethal 1%, the math that proves how a tiny fee or a tiny bit of lifestyle creep effectively steals 30 to 40% of your total lifetime wealth. Introduction. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about the invisible math that keeps people broke. If you're someone who feels like you're doing everything right, saving money, working hard, but the needle just isn't moving as fast as the spreadsheets say it should, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because honestly, the industry is betting on you not doing the math I'm about to show you. The illusion of just 1%. Now, you might be thinking, Nick, you're being dramatic. 1% is 1%. No. This is where most people realize they've been lied to by omission. We are taught to think linearly. If I have $100 and you take 1%, I have $99. Big deal. But wealth isn't linear, it's exponential. When you take 1% out of an investment account every year, you aren't just taking 1% of the cash, you are taking 100% of the compounding power that 1% would have generated over the next 3 decades. Let's look at a specific eye-opening example. Imagine two people, Person A and Person B. Both invest $100,000 today. They both get a 7% average annual return over 30 years. Person A pays 0% in fees because they use low-cost index funds. Person B pays a standard 1.25% management fee to an advisor or an expensive mutual fund. At the end of 30 years, Person A has $761,225. Person B has $511,601. Look at those numbers. That 1% fee didn't cost Person B 1% of their money. It cost them $249,624. That is 33% of their total wealth gone, vanished, paid to someone else for the privilege of holding their money. This is what I call the lethal 1% rule. In the world of compounding, 1% isn't a small slice of the pie, it's a massive chunk of the growth. The psychology, why we ignore it. Here's what most people don't realize. Our brains are biologically wired to ignore small percentages. Evolutionarily, if a lion is 1% faster than you, you're dead. But if you lose 1% of your berries to a neighbor, you don't care. We aren't evolved to understand the long-term impact of small recurring losses. Financial institutions know this. They hide the lethality in the decimals. They know that if they charged you a $250,000 exit fee after 30 years, you'd sue them. But if they take it out in 1% increments every year while the market is going up, you'll smile and thank them for the Christmas card. Lifestyle creep, the silent killer. But wait, it gets really interesting when we move away from bank fees and look at your lifestyle. Lifestyle creep is the 1% rule applied to your spending. You get a raise and you decide to spend just 1% more of your total income on a slightly nicer car lease or a slightly better gym membership. Let's run the math on the $2,000 escape velocity point I talk about. Most people stay in survival mode because as their income climbs, their 1% small treats climb faster. If you invested that extra 1% of lifestyle creep instead of upgrading your life every time you got a win, you wouldn't just be slightly richer, you would hit your critical mass number, the point where your investments work harder than you do a full decade earlier. Think about that. Is that 1% upgrade today worth 10 years of your freedom? Most people don't make that trade consciously. They make it accidentally because they don't see the leak. Addressing objections. But I need help. Look, I'm not saying all advisors are bad, but I am saying you need to be aware of the cost of help. If you are paying 1% for someone to just pick stocks for you, you are statistically likely to underperform the market and pay $250,000 for the privilege. If you need help, look for fee-only advisors who charge a flat dollar amount, not a percentage of your total wealth. Don't let your peace of mind cost you 30% of your lifetime labor. Actionable steps: how to plug the leak. So what do we do? How do we stop the lethal 1%? First, audit your expense ratios. Open your 401k or brokerage right now. Look for expense ratio. If it's over 0.5%, you're being robbed. Move to low-cost index funds where the fee is 0.03%. That change alone could save you 6 figures. Second, use the 72-hour cooling law. Every time you want to upgrade your life, wait 72 hours. If that 1% increase in spending still feels vital, okay, but usually it's just a dopamine hit that steals your future. Third, calculate your freedom date. Use a compound interest calculator. Run your numbers with a 7% return, then run them with a 6% return. That 1% difference is the lethal gap. Look at the dollar amount. Write it down. Put it on your fridge. That is the price of being careless. Conclusion and motivation. Here's the harsh truth. The world is designed to skim 1% of you at every turn. The bank takes 1%, the subscription takes 1%, the treat yourself mentality takes 1%. Individually, they are invisible. Together, they are a terminal illness for your wealth. But once you see the math, you can't unsee it. You have the power to plug these leaks today. You don't need a massive windfall or a lottery win to become wealthy. You just need to stop the lethal 1% from stealing the growth you've already earned. Stop being person B, be person A. Keep your growth, keep your time. If this video made you realize you might have a leak in your tank, let me know in the comments. What's one 1% fee or habit you're cutting this week? I'll see you in the next one.